G'day guys, well today we've got a Y62 on the hoist. I'm going to be running through 5 main reasons what is the difference with a Legendex exhaust and the stock standard, and reasons you need to be buying this to get your rig sounding amazing and performing at its absolute peak. Oh my goodness, it just sounds so good. She just wants to roar now. Number one is sound. You've got a V8, you want to hear the V8. Toyota's going to get rid of them, Y62 Patrols, eventually going to get all these V6s. You don't want an E-car, you bought yourself a V8 Patrol, and you're going to want it to sound and behave like a big bad girl that she is. So guys, how do we get it to sound so good? So we've been building exhausts, I don't know, about 60 odd years now for Ginny Performance and Legendex, and the big difference is knowing how to make them sound good. So with the V8s guys, we got a special unique muffler right at the front here, and that's got a really high flow. It comes in 3-inch twin and exits in the big 3.5. You don't want a 3-inch outlet. If you go twin 3 and a single 3, I've done maths, that's 6 and a 2, doesn't work. So we run a 3.5, and that gets that really good rumble. And we've got a little bit of a small resonator at the back and a medium-sized muffler at the front. And combined together, we don't want to have any drone. So one of the biggest issues with the wagon, Y62 is a wagon, unless you're going to chop it, of course, that'd be cool. But in the wagon, the back end just acts like a massive drum. So obviously the exhaust comes from underneath the rear wheel and up in the back area. If you've got nothing in it, it's just got a drum. So that's why we run a big resonator in the rear, medium muffler in the front. Combines the two, equalize the sound, so you're not getting a drumming, particularly when you're towing a heavy load. You don't want drone, you want V8 madness. So you want the maximum sound without annoying the wife and kids. Legendex is the only 4-drive company that offers you a 10-year off-road warranty. If you think you can break your Patrol, we've got the product for you. Yes, the rock sliders are madness and we've got the bull bars, but the exhaust you also won't break. So let's have a closer look at what makes it a 10-year off-road warranty product. Starting from the front, so on the vehicle behind us here, you obviously got the catalytic converters here. Now with your catalytic converters in the V8, you're gonna be running super hot. You wanna get that flowing. You wanna get the temperatures way down. To do that, you gotta go from a 2-inch bit of pipe all the way through. It's all crimped straight off the back of those cats in a 3-inch. Now, a lot of people are gonna do this, but we do it differently. So in the 3-inch section, we use 409 grade stainless. So that's a really high grade mild steel, a bit of a medium grade stainless steel. The difference is 409 is developed to take the exhaust temperature. It can actually handle the heat cycling. So hot, cold, hot, cold, hot, cold, exactly what you're gonna get. But it can take a higher temperature. So you don't really want a polished bit of exhaust here because that stuff's gonna crack eventually. So we run a 409 grade stainless steel. Yes, we paint it just to make it look mint. And I got a massive flex pipe. The original one, you can't even bend this thing. It's a hard bit of pipe that doesn't have any flex. So again, off-roading, I'm a bit concerned that the original system isn't gonna hold up for too long. Obviously our system's got this massive flex. You got a lot of flex in there, so you got a lot of vibration, a lot of bumping. Again, guys, you don't need 2 flexes. You only need 1 when you got a twin system. You'll find all our exhaust hangers are super heavy duty, guys. So we do design them differently. We do make them ultra strong. 409 can handle it. So when it come a little bit closer. So with the Legendex exhaust, you're gonna see this high flow, no welds on the outside. But on the stock standard one from Nissan, you've got all these pop rivets and stuff. There's a lot of baffle plates in here. That creates a lot of restrictions. So when you're driving a V8, you're gonna want it to flow. Part of the getting off-road and getting a 10-year off-road warranty is to get it flowing really well. So not only the exhausts are heavy duty, not only does it flow better, but the 3.5-inch pipe, as you can see while it's bending, we get up and over. We want it to fit really well. And we also tuck it up high. You're gonna have a look in a minute on the hoist here. Every part of our exhaust is taller than the original system. All we're trying to do is make sure if you're off-roading, you're not going to hit it with a rock or you're going to smash as much. So we're trying to design it and tuck it up, and we're going to make it fit different fuel tanks, bigger tires. A lot of what we're doing is to make it work with the 4-drive products you might have, and that's part of how we do a 10-year off-road warranted product. Well, number 3, lower EGT. So number one thing, guys, if it looks cooler, it normally runs cooler. So twin 3-inch into the 3.5-inch pipe out the back, a super high flow muffler, a resonator. None of this stuff stops any restrictions. You can have a straight pipe or one of mine. It is going to have 0 restrictions. I want maximum temperature from the back of those cats out the back and someone else's problem. I don't want it to be your problem. So one of the secrets, 409 tube can take the heat, so it's not going to break. Back to 10-year-old 408 warranty, you don't want it to break. The 409 will actually consume more of the heat than the polished stuff, and particularly a lot better than this. You can see very quickly on the original, it's got all these browning spots. It's been on the car, I think this guy's like 2,000 clicks only. And you can already see that it's bronzing up and it's burning. So there's a lot of heat being developed in this baffle. Where in our exhaust, it is free flowing. there is almost zero heat battling. It's gonna be hot, don't touch it. But in comparatively, we wanna see it from like 400 degrees down to 200 degrees as quick as possible. And the further down the exhaust you go, the cooler our system runs. It continually reduces the temps by going, the 3.5-inch pipe runs even cooler, particularly more than the 2.5-inch pipe. That's kind of standard. So 409, 304, super high flow, get the EGTs down, which are gonna help your engine wear and the longevity of your vehicle. And that's what number 3 is, lower exhaust gas temps. So better flow dynamics. You're starting to see the off-road warranty and the lower EGTs and the flow dynamics are starting to link together, and they all are very similar when it comes to in the design of it. And it's very focused when we do this exhaust system to make sure that the flow dynamics is beyond anything else on the market, particularly the original. So going twin 3-inch off the back of the Cats, that's all about getting that initial pump. So twin 3-inch straight into the muffler. You don't want to be twin 3-inch all the way. You want to get to the muffler just to cut down that sound. If you go too long, it's going to groan horrendously. So we've got to step into the muffler. Now, we're using 1100 degree fiberglass inside this, so it's going to take a lot of the heat. So when you're sitting in it, it's going to keep the heat down, but more importantly, the design inside of this can is going to flow as fast as we can physically get it out. The more foot you put down, the more heat, the more flow. That's what this is. 3.5-inch pipe, so again unique in going the bigger. It is a little bit tighter in there to fit it in the back of there. It's tighter, but spend the time to get it and you're going to get the flow dynamics that you need to get your V8 absolutely humming, particularly when towing. You're going to need that extra 10%. The Legendex is going to get you that with the flow dynamics that we have inside and the relationship between the resonator and the muffler. This thing is just going to flow out there. So you're going to get lower exhaust gas temps, but that's because of the flow dynamics that we've got inside this can and the philosophy we use in the Y62. You can easily see the difference between the stock standard, but I'm telling you guys, you're going to find a big difference when you put it on the back of your rig. DIY fit, guys, basically all you need is like a 14 mil or 9/16 if you're in the old Imperium, slightly different, but that's basically all you need to bolt this back on. So with it, we're using all the original hangers, except the second last one. We got a little trick there, I'll show you in a second. So all the original stuff goes back on. We're missing the fuel tank. We're getting the heat away all the way along, back at the Cats and forward. It's really easy to fit. So when you're fitting this, you can see you've got plenty of clearance away from the fuel tank. We do a lot of massive D&W suspensions here, so for the 4495 sort of stuff, the bigger suspension lifts, it still clears because of where it goes over. Now you've got some hydraulic lines and bits in there that you gotta fit this right. Make sure she gets around it, which she does. But we also got clearance here for the rear tire. So all you guys going the bigger ones, you can get around everything. A lot of the tow bars, guys, are sometimes tricky to fit, but the exhaust fits for everything here. It's got a nice look and it's got a great sound, but that's really easy to fit and doesn't rattle on anything. So DIY fit, guys. Easy to do on hoist. You can do it at home, not a problem, but that's it. It's got to have the 5 things that makes the Legendex stand out. Well, this is what it's all about, is getting in the car and just listening to that rumble, and you can just hear it on idle. Oh, it is absolutely sounds fantastic in the car, but not drumming. I can't hear any drone. Oh my goodness, it just sounds so good. She just wants to roar now. I am super, super excited. She is absolutely humming, and that's why you put the Legendex exhaust on your Y62, because you're gonna feel it, you're gonna love it, you're gonna feel everything about it, the grip, the power, the roar. Love it, absolutely, just love hearing that V8. That's why you bought one, and that's why you need a Legendex for your Y62.